Hi everyone, I'm Mandy. Welcome to Souped Up Recipes. Today we're making the classic Cantonese braised beef in clear soup, or what we call 清汤牛腩. This is a recipe that is known for its clean broth and the purest beef taste. I know it does look like Vietnamese pho, but different. We'll talk about that as we cook. I will also show you my secret ingredient that will make this dish a mind-blowing beef noodle soup. Let's start with the broth because it is a little bit time-consuming. I have got here a big piece of brisket and some beef bones with the marrow inside. It will give the broth a rich taste. I soaked them in the water and I kept this bowl in the fridge overnight. The soaking draws out some of the myoglobin, which is the redness that appears on the meat. That's why the water looks pink now. If you don't soak it, that's okay too, but the broth will come out darker, then you can't call it a clear soup anymore. Next, we're going to blanch the beef. Fill a big pot with lots of water. Don't need to cut the beef, just add it in along with the bones. Turn the heat to high and we're gonna bring this to a boil. Be sure to leave the lid partially open, otherwise you're gonna spend 20 minutes to clean your stovetop. Turn off the heat, then remove the beef from the pot. Although we're not using this water today, but you can keep it for other meals. I like to use a clay pot to do the braising because it has a high heat capacity. You can also use a Dutch oven, a slow cooker, or an Instant Pot. I'm gonna link this clay pot in the description. You can check it out if you want to buy it. Let me turn the heat to medium and preheat the pot for a couple of minutes. Then add a drizzle of oil along with 5 slices of ginger, 4 cloves of garlic, and 2 big scallions. If yours are small, use 3 or 4. No need to cut them into stalks. Stir until the scallions are wilted. Then add 2.5 liters of water. While waiting for it to come to a boil, we're going to collect some spices. You will need half of a cinnamon stick, 1 star anise, 2 bay leaves, 2 cloves, half of a black cardamom, and 1 piece of dry tangerine peel. If you don't have it, use fresh orange or lemon peel without the white bitter layer. 2 slices of Gan Cao, also known as licorice root. This will give the soup a slight sweet aftertaste. If you don't have it, use 2 teaspoons of sugar instead. Put everything in a spice bag so they're not floating around in the soup. You see me using so little spices. That is because we don't want the spice aroma to cover up the natural meat flavor. The water has come to a boil now. Add the spice bag along with the brisket and the bones. Turn the heat to the lowest. It needs to be low enough that you only see some small simmering activities. We call this 虾盐水, means the size of the bubbles is like the size of the prom ice. The beef needs about 3 hours to be tender. During this time, you want to come back once in a while to monitor the heat to make sure the pot is not boiling while you're not looking. Otherwise, the broth will come out cloudy. Alright, now let me show you how to make my secret ingredient, the garlic oil, which is very easy. I am rinsing a 1/4 cup of minced garlic under running water. When the garlic is crushed and chopped, it will release a type of chemical called mercaptans, which makes your knife and the cutting board sticky. That chemical is what we're trying to rinse off because it will bring a bitter taste when deep fried. Shake off the excess water, but no need to dab it with paper towels. Directly add the garlic to a saucepot along with a 1/4 cup of oil. A little bit of moisture prevents the garlic from burning before it releases the flavor to the oil. Stir constantly over low heat for 8 to 10 minutes. It gets really foamy like soap, but don't worry, it is normal. Once it is lightly golden, turn off the heat and wait for the bubbles to be gone. The rest of the heat will continue to darken the garlic a little bit. Pour it out and set it aside. Look at that golden color, so perfect. With this method, you can make scallion and shallot oil as well. However, you don't have to rinse the scallions and shallots because they have a lower mercaptan content. The beef still has a long time to go. You can prepare the daikon radish. You may wonder, why am I double peeling it? I found that the daikon radish in the USA is not as sweet as the ones that I get in China. It is more on the bitter side, and it gives the soup a bitter aftertaste. The skin contains even more bitter element, so it is very important to double peel the skin. Discard both ends and cut the radish into chunks by using the roll cutting technique. This is the must-have item for beef soup in Cantonese cuisine. If you don't like daikon radish or you don't have access to buy it, use carrot instead. We will add the radish to the clay pot 30 minutes before the beef is ready because we don't want to overcook it. However, if you cut the radish too early, like what I did, you can soak it in water. This is optional, but it does help to draw out more of the bitter element. Alright, now add the radish into the pot. Optionally, you can skim the fat that is floating on top of the broth. I'm using a fine sieve called oil strainer. Water goes through this strainer faster than oil, which allows you to separate the water and the oil easily. Season it with fish sauce. Taste and adjust the flavor. It needs to be saltier compared to your normal taste because we will cook the noodles in it. I used about 5 tablespoons of fish sauce. I know this is often known as a Thai or Vietnamese ingredient. In fact, fish sauce is widely used in south of China as well. Put on the lid and continue to simmer on low heat for 30 minutes. That's it. The soup is done. The radish is chopstick tender. Let's poke the beef. It should go through easily as well. That's perfect. Alright, we're ready to cook the noodles. This is what we call hor fun, also known as rice sticks or Vietnamese pho noodles. If you don't have it, feel free to use egg noodles, ramen noodles, or pasta. According to the instructions, you have to soak them in water for 5 to 8 minutes or until soft. During this time, you can take the beef out and let it cool for a few minutes. Discard the aromatics, the spice bag, and the bones. You can leave the radish in there. I also like to sieve out the fat bits and the impurities. Look how beautiful that broth is. So clear and transparent. Slice the beef into thick slabs. Once done, the noodles should be soft. Bring the broth to a simmer and add the noodles. Unlike wheat noodles, rice noodles don't release that much starch, so it is completely fine to cook them in the broth. Of course, you can cook it in a separated pot if you want. Add the noodles into a big serving bowl. Top with a few pieces of daikon radish and a few slices of beef. Sprinkle some diced scallions. Don't forget to add the sole ingredient, 1 tablespoon of garlic oil. The heat of the broth will activate the fragrance, which makes this dish a mind-blowing beef noodle soup. I just can't wait to eat it. The broth looks light but flavorful. It has a slight sweet aftertaste which comes from the daikon radish and the Gan Cao slices. Also, the daikon radish has a mild mustardy taste, which makes the beef flavor stand out even more. Even though this looks like pho, they are different. Just to be clear, One is not better than the other, they're just two different cuisines. However, the Vietnamese pho broth is much sweeter. The sweetness comes from the onion and maybe some sugar. Pho noodles is usually served with lime, bean sprout, and lots of herbs, while the Chinese hot fun is topped with diced scallions and garlic oil only. It smells intense, but it does not overpower the natural taste of the beef. I just love this dish so much. I hope you can give this a try soon. As always, the printable recipe link is in the description. Go check it out if needed. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more delicious Chinese food. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!